Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm so glad you guys decided to join us tonight. I'm excited to get your questions answered here in a minute. I want to start this off by introducing myself very quickly. My name is Dr. Staci. I am a doctor of integrative and functional medicine. And I am definitely here to give you all kinds of great information, but please know that the information that I'm going to be sharing with you is just that. We're going to share some websites with you. You can go and do your own research, of course, check with your healthcare provider or practitioner if you have any questions regarding your specific health condition or what's going on with you, because I am not your doctor, so I'm not here to treat or to cure or to diagnose you with anything. But I will be sharing lots of great information and I will be answering your questions. But just so you keep in mind when you're thinking about your questions, things you want to jot down, I'll give you time here in just a little bit after I go over the science and technology of how this works to be able to ask your specific questions. But remember that the information that I'm going to share with you is not going to be disease specific. So if you have issues with, let's say, for example, you would say diabetes, which is a disease or a disorder or syndrome, then you would say, what do I do for my blood sugar? Or if you have issues with, let's say, the brain, like specifically ADD or ADHD or cognitive issues, dementia, things like that, you could say, well, what do you recommend to help support my brain health? So think of your body in terms of organs or systems, right? We have lots of organs in our body and they all have many functions. So think about that when you think about your questions, okay? So get your questions ready, get your list. I always tell people, write your grocery list of problems or symptoms or issues, things you'd like to cross off in 2023. We have a few more days left in 2022. And so 2023, I can feel already is going to be a year for massive amounts of people to regain their health, improve the quality of their life. And for those of you that have been on this journey with me over the last year and a half plus, you know what that's done for your health and your life and how it's improved many different areas. And so that's what we're looking forward to for those of us that are joining us in 2023. So let me explain the science and tech. I'm going to primarily be talking about the X39, the stem cell activation patch tonight. We are going to cover some of the other patches because you guys are going to ask me questions. So just so you know, I want to tell you first of all who invented this. So David Schmidt is the owner of the company LifeWave. He is also the inventor of the technology that we're going to be talking about tonight. So David was working for the Navy SEALs 20 years ago. So this is not new, you guys. It may be new to you. And people say, why have I not heard about this before? Well, word of mouth is word of mouth. And it just sometimes takes a little bit longer to get around the world, right? But David was working for the Navy SEALs back in 2001, and was asked by the SEALs to create something, invent something to help them with their sustainability, endurance, and stamina. David's an inventor. He's been an inventor his entire life. So he was downloaded the information by the divine to create a non-transdermal patch that turns body fat into fuel. It triggers beta oxidation in the body. And that's the energy enhancer. So if you guys remember back a long time ago, 20 years ago, what happened in our country in the United States, of course, the World Trade Center. And our country no longer was working on the SEALs and their missions to help them improve their quality of life. They went to bear more arms and protect our country when the World Trade Centers were hit. And so David was no longer on mission, as were any of them on that project. And so he thought, you know what, I've got a great product here that I know can help a lot of people. He started working with the Stanford University swim team. And from there went on to the USA Olympic swim team. If you guys remember back in 2000, I think it's 7 or 8-ish, whatever year that was with the Olympics, the USA swept the gold, right? Why? Because they were all using the energy enhancer. Huge controversy. Look it up. Huge controversy. Back then, I remember my parents reading the newspaper and watching it on TV and saying, what's going on? What are these people wearing? What made them win all these medals? And of course, the Olympics, they had to go through and make sure there was nothing going into the body. And of course, they concluded, yes, this is not putting a substance into the body. This is actually what's called phototherapy or photobiomodulation. And so this patch was allowed then from the USA Olympic swim team and of course went on to athletes around the world. But primarily, it really took off in Asia. Our company really took off in Asia. They understood the technology, they understood the benefits all those years ago. And so we had a thriving business with LifeWave for literally, gosh, I would say 17 years of those 20 years, up until 3 years ago, when David invented this patch that was released almost 4 years ago now, the X39 stem cell activation patch, which, like I said, this is the patch I'm primarily going to be talking about tonight. And so over the last 20 years, from this to this, David's invented a dozen patches. But here in the US, we really just started taking off in the last several years because of the invention of X39. And so now, obviously, we're a global company. We're in 81 countries, so we're helping people all over the globe. Our goal is to help 1 billion families improve their quality of life with this technology. So what is this technology? How does it work? How can it help you? That's what I want to share with you. So this patch looks like a little round Band-Aid. I'll take the back off for you. It's literally sticky on the back because it sticks like a Band-Aid. This is a 3M hypoallergenic Band-Aid, okay? Polymer, 2 sleeves, but embedded in it is what I'm going to talk to you about, okay? So this patch is non-transdermal. Non-transdermal means nothing's transferring in the body. You guys are probably familiar with transdermal patches, like pain patches, nicotine patches, hormone patches. They're putting a chemical or a substance into the body to do something on the inside, right? Whether it's to eliminate pain, balance hormones, stop smoking, right? The nicotine patches, things like that. So this is not the same thing. Non-transdermal, nothing transferring in. So how is this working? It's working with what's called photobiomodulation or phototherapy. Okay, so quickly how that works is our body, if you put your hand on your chest, you're emitting heat or light, right? We know that because right now here on the East Coast, where Gloria and I are, it's dark. It's 8 o'clock, our sun's down. And so if we went outside, we couldn't see our neighbors or pets down the road, streets, animals down the street, unless we had night vision goggles. And so we look through night vision goggles, we see the outline of the human or of the animal, right? Because of the heat that their body is putting off, that low level infrared light. That is what our patch is working with. Okay, so when you apply this patch, our body reflects back a very specific wavelength of light from this patch back into the body. So you see that white part? Okay, that white part is a crystal lattice structure. It's an organic, proprietary blend of amino acids and sugars, oxygen, and water. These molecules form together that David has invented, right? Proprietary. He's invented this crystal lattice structure that's embedded inside of this patch. It's not a crystal like an amethyst or a clear quartz crystal. It's not a crystal like this. These are not crystals like you mine from the ground, okay? These are stereoisomers. So it's a solution of molecules that form together in a very specific way inside of this patch. Put the patch on, our body's light or heat reflects back a specific wavelength of light from that lattice structure back into our body. That wavelength of light increases our GHK-Cu copper peptide, in turn upregulating or resetting over 4,000 genes in your body back to their young, youthful state immediately. And in turn, increasing, activating, elevating, and mobilizing your own stem cells. So this patch here signals your body to do what it did when it was a kid, which is have an abundance of young, youthful, healthy, vital, vibrant, mobile stem cells in the body. When you're born, you have an abundance of stem cells. Stem cells are pluripotent, which means they can turn into any cell, tissue, or organ in the body that the body needs. Think about kids. They have boundless amounts of energy. They never stop. They can sleep like this, the drop of a hat, and they're in a crowded room, and when they're out, they're out. They ride their bikes, they climb up trees, they fall to trees, they break their bones, and they take off running again, like they never missed a beat. Because they're kids and their bodies are always working to repair themselves, right? That's just the way they are. That's what happens. But guess what happens when we start aging? By the time we're in our 30s, we have about half of the stem cells that we did mobile and active in our body. as we did when we were kids. So there's only about half that are working to repair. How many of you guys started to notice crow's feet in your 30s? Or maybe your sleep wasn't a great quality, or you got up in the morning still tired and groggy, or you found that you needed a nap in the afternoon. Or maybe you were, gosh, oh my God, where are these back pain? Where are these aches and pains coming from? Right? That kind of started to happen in your 30s. You'd walk in a room, you're like, what did I go in this room for? And you turn around and come back out trying to jog your memory. Things started to shift. By the time you're in your 60s, there are less than 10% stem cells active and mobile in your body to help you to repair and regenerate. It's just the way it is. You see the sign of aging. You see the degeneration in the body. You see years and years of compound effect of injury, accident, illness, surgeries, stress, diet, lifestyle, and the body gets out of balance. This patch goes to work to reset your body, to help your body get back into balance. Not putting anything in your body, but signaling your body to do what it did when it was younger. People want to know, what are the side effects? What are the risks? Well, remember, this is not putting anything in your body, so there are no side effects. There are no risks. There are no contraindications to any medications or supplements or therapies or whatever you may or may not be doing, because nothing's going into your body. So if you're on a medication, or if you're taking different supplements or doing different types of therapies, you can continue those things. You may find that you can maybe not use as much of that as your body gets back into balance. You may not need the supplements that you did. You may not need the medications that you did. Of course, that's why I told you at the beginning, you're working with your healthcare provider. Please check with them. They're the ones that are in charge of working with you with your health, right? You're in charge of you and the decisions you make and the things that you do. So this is a tool that I have found in my never-ending quest of always looking for more things to be able to help improve the quality of my family's life and other people's lives. And for me, it's about prevention. It's about vitality and longevity. I've been into wellness for over 20 years. So for me, this is all about how can I help myself, my family have the best quality of life and age. I won't even say gracefully because we're reversing our age, right? But to be able to stay young and vital and vibrant and feel amazing as those numbers change, even though we're reversing them, right? So what does this mean for you? What are you going to notice? What are you going to experience? Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know what's going on inside of your body. Everybody's body is different. There is no one human on this planet that has the exact same situation as another human. Even those common diseases, right? The heart disease and the diabetes and the autoimmune, there's a ton of them. No one person has the exact same symptoms, because we all have different bodies, right? We all have different cells that are doing different things, and they're all responding to physical and mental and emotional and spiritual types of things. And so we're all different. So here's what I can tell you. David has done over 90 clinical studies. And so we have these studies. The website is startx39now.com. We'll put that in the chat for you. Startx39now.com. You can go there. You can see all the studies. They're all right there on the website. Thank you, Gloria. You can see the patents. This has a 20-year patent on it. We're in year 2 of 20. This is a 20-year patent. What does that mean? Like, there's nothing, this is not on the planet anywhere, right? And so all of our patches, all of our technology is patent, which means David has created it, he's invented it, and he owns the rights to that, right? And so you know that it's safe, it's effective. And obviously, like I said, we have over 90 studies that have been done with people. So we have proof with real people, double-blind, placebo. Independent labs and researchers across the globe have studied this. I had somebody text me the other day. They go, do you know who Homer Nazareth is? Do you know this person? And I'm like, I've never met him, but I mean, obviously I've read his research. I'm like, oh my God, my sister attended one of his conferences. This is incredible. He actually did studies for LifeWave. And I'm like, I know, these are world-renowned doctors and scientists across the world that have been researching and studying this technology on people in the last 20 years. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to experience the things that I'm going to share with you that would be in clinical studies. If you experience them before, fantastic. If it's after, fantastic. I don't know, but studies say that in about 3 to 6 weeks, about 80% of the people start to notice some pretty significant improvements. Okay, the other 20% is going to be about 3 to 6 months. I can't tell you it's going to be the sick people that experience it first or the healthy people that experience it first. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just the way your body goes to work to repair whatever is needed first. And a lot of times we don't even really know what's going on inside of our body. right? You could do your blood work and still not know. You could do CT scans and still not be sure. MRIs, still not be sure, right? Ultrasounds, like, I don't know. I'm not really for sure what that is. How many people do you know that are like, well, I've done all these tests and they still can't figure out what's wrong with me? Most of the population, or at least the people I hear, right? And they're like, I'm just trying to get to the root of the problem. This is going to help you get to the root of the problem without needing that diagnostic test. Like, you know how you feel, you know what is going on inside of your body on a feeling level, on a, like, your symptoms, right? The things you're experiencing that show you you're out of balance. Your body is living in a disease state, dis-ease, right? And so we can see that people experience pain reduction. We see they have a better quality of sleep, REM sleep, deep sleep. I don't know how many of you guys go to sleep and you're like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, I did sleep, but I slept so hard, like out every night that you don't even remember sleeping. Like, even if you turn from side to side, there's still no like recollection of that, because you're just such in a deep state of sleep. That's where your body heals and repairs the most, right? Sleep is critical to your life, to your longevity, to your vitality, and to your body being able to repair itself. It repairs itself during the sleep. So we see huge improvements in sleep. We see improvements in mental energy, mental clarity, mental focus and concentration, physical energy, recovery from daily activities, and exercise and fitness, and then also wound healing. You guys know the research probably with stem cells and wound healing, right? That's out there. You can Google and search and see all the benefits of that. But this is your body's own stem cells going to work. And so your body has its own innate ability to know how to heal itself. You don't have to direct your body's stem cells and tell them where to go. And to be honest with you, you couldn't if you wanted to. This is not a stem cell injection, right? We're not putting PRP in the elbow or, umbilical cord stem cells in your shoulder. Like, this is not the same thing. And so this is saying to your body, do what you did when you were a kid. Let's go. Let's repair this body. Let's regenerate these organs, these cells, these tissues, and let's do it in the order that the body needs first, most. And so when you ask me questions tonight about specific things, I'm going to refer to some of the supportive patches. And the reason why I am is for that exact reason. I cannot tell you that this is going to get rid of your back pain in 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months or maybe even 2 years. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you, but I can tell you right now, if you put on an ice wave, your pain's going to be gone immediately. That's what it does. It gets rid of pain on the spot. It's not going to get to the root of your problem. We're going to use the X39, and we'll also use the Eon. I'll talk to you about that here in a second. But we're going to use some supportive patches to help target the specific things going on in your body that you want to address immediately. And that's why I like to talk about these and explain them to you, because I know this is the workhorse of the line. I know this patch, it's not on the planet anywhere. And I know exactly what it's doing to repair and regenerate your body, literally every single day. You put it on in the morning, you can stick it right here. You can stick it on your back of your neck, below your belly button, put it on top of your big toe. I don't care, but you're going to put it on in the morning. You're going to leave it on 12 hours. You're going to stay extremely hydrated all day long. You're going to take it off after 12 hours and you're going to throw it away or put it on your pet. It works for your dogs, cats, horses, chickens, cows, turkeys, whatever. Put it on an animal, help them improve their quality of life as well too. Do it again the next day, the next day, the next day. People ask all the time, how long do I have to wear this? And I'm like, well, if you go to the doctor and he tells you have high cholesterol, he's going to write you a prescription for Lipitor for the rest of your life. And every 30 days, you're going to go to CVS or the grocery store and you're going to fulfill that prescription and never even bat an eye. So I'm not telling you you're going to be on this for the rest of your life, but I want you to be realistic. This is regenerative medicine. So stem cells in your body are going to go to work to repair and regenerate, restore, rejuvenate your cells, tissues, and organs. Regenerative medicine says we're going to repair and restore that. And so that means it's going to go back to its original perfect functionality, right? So a general rule of thumb is 1 month for every 10 years you are old to get up to that full stem cell regeneration point. So if you're in your 30s, that's 3 months. If you're in your 50s, that's 5 months. If you're in your 70s, it's 7 months, right? Or just stop patching when you want to start aging again. I mean, why is Gloria in her 60s and yet still patching a year later? She's not in her 60s anymore, right? When you look at her cellular age, it's much younger than that. She's in her 40s. When you look at what happened on the outside of her body, it's a representation of what's happened on the inside of her body over the last year. Stem cell regeneration in your body, removing inflammation in the body, reducing oxidative stress in the body. All of that is showing on the outside. Thank you, Gloria. She's 67. Spry, young, beautiful looking 30 plus something years old woman, right? I had somebody this morning talking about the Marriott lines on a Zoom, and she's like, that lady Gloria, she said she put aloe vera right on them. I'm going to do that every night. Hers are gone. I'm like, put it wherever you want, whatever you want to do. It's perfectly fine, right? And so knowing that this is something that's going to take time, we want to get to the root of your problems. We want to cross off those things on your list in 2023. Don't think it's going to happen in 30 days, right? Let's be realistic. It's like saying I've got to lose 50 pounds and I want it gone in 30 days. You might be dead. Like, that's not a good situation. We want to do this over time so it's done right, so your body has time to repair and regenerate itself, and we want to stay consistent with that. So with that being said, we've talked about the X39 stem cell activation patch. The Eon patch, I want to mention this. This was our #1 selling patch until a few years ago when X39 came out. Big reason why. It reduces inflammation. Inflammation is the root of disease in the physical body. If we want to look at inflammation, inflammatory markers, we can see the disease processes starting to pile on. And so this brings down the level of inflammation in your body, many inflammatory markers. It also puts your body in a parasympathetic state. We know when we look at the body, sympathetic state, fight or flight, go, 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 stress. Oh my God, I can't shut my brain off. I'm always worried, fearful, stressful. Oh, right? That puts your body in a much more susceptible state for disease. Okay. And so this also helps bring your body in that calm, rest, relax, digest state. You can put this below your belly button. It's a triple warmer spot. It's great in the evening if you need to shut off your monkey mind. I personally wear mine during the day because I don't need to shut off my monkey mind. But if you do, you can wear it at night below your belly button. It's a great spot to help you, wear it 12 hours during the night. Your X39 is day only. You can do this one day or night. Obviously, take it off the next morning when you get up, throw it away. But when you pair these two together, and this is why we pair them, because this is what David says, right? We pair these two together because when you reduce inflammation, at the same time, you're increasing your body's own stem cell production. You are going to have more rapid, dramatic repair and regeneration processes inside of your body. Look at it this way. If I were to go get a stem cell injection in my shoulder, pain, inflammation, lack of range of motion, right? I'm going to go get a stem cell injection. I'm going to drop 25 grand on this. This whole area is inflamed. That's common. You know that. Your doctor's told you that. It's full of inflammation. Of course it is. That's why it hurts so bad. That's why everything is out of control up here. So you go and you inject 2 million stem cells into your shoulder. That inflammation is going to come and consume them. You're probably going to be left with about 200,000. Do you want 2 million stem cells in your body working to repair it? Or do you want 200,000? Do you want to address the inflammation at the same time that your body's going to work to repair it or not? It's up to you. So if you're telling me that I've got this list of problem, probably at the root of most of those problems is inflammation. You probably have a lot of inflammation in your body from surgery, from accidents, from stress, from diet, from lifestyle. All those things contribute to inflammation, right? So when we can reduce the inflammation at the same time that we increase our stem cells, you have a more rapid repair and regeneration process. Most of us live in a microwave society, right? We want it now. I want it all fixed today. Well, like I said, it's going to take some time. But if you look at it, if you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s, like that time's going to go on no matter what. Are you going to be getting to the root of the problem for the price of a cup of coffee a day? Or are you going to keep compounding in the wrong direction, problem after problem, symptom after symptom, issue after issue? So that's why I start with these two for everything. So I'm going to go back through him and read some of the questions you had. But please know every question you ask me about a specific condition or a symptom you're experiencing, this is always my starting point, always. And I like to start people slow. I mean, yes, we have a dozen patches. I would never put a dozen patches on anybody, right? You don't need all 12 patches, but we can talk about things you specifically do need, but we're going to start slow. And I like starting with these two. at least for a week or two before you add in another patch. Okay. So if you're going to ask me about something, I'll tell you all the patches that'll benefit it, just like David does, right? I've listened to all his videos for the last year and a half. I've heard him in person a dozen times over the last year and a half, but I'm always going to start you here because I want you to start. I want you to see how you feel. Not that you're going to feel bad, right? I mean, you're going to feel great because you're reducing your inflammation and you're boosting your, your stem cell production, your GHKCU. So you're going to feel great, but I want you to feel how you're feeling. I want you to keep track of it. That's why we use our health tracker. The health tracker is a fantastic tool for you to do just that. It looks like this. If you don't have one, the person that invited you can email you or send you one of these by text. It has a tracker on the back. You're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and map yourself out over the days and weeks and months that come. Okay, so we can keep track of how you're feeling. You added another patch. You can see how it goes from there. So let's talk about your questions in here real quick. Okay, so when I look at menopausal symptoms such as hot flashes, night sweats, we definitely, of course, are going to use the X39 and Eon. If I look at other patches, I would also look at aloe vera. It works amazing in the organs, reducing oxidative inflammatory stress. It also would be beneficial to look at SP6. SP6 balances the entire endocrine system. But I will tell you, this is brand new. David just invented these, Shine and Dream. They balance your hormones. Male, female, doesn't matter what's off with them. They put your hormones in balance. And so this would be fantastic to get these for anything to do with hormones whatsoever. Like I said, male or female, they're going to bring things into balance. They do a lot of other stuff too, but they're fantastic when you look at hormones. And then when I look at, okay, so if you do red light therapy, can you wear the patch in the red bed or should you put it on after? I put it on after. Obviously the red light therapy is fantastic. That's photobiomodulation, you guys. That is an outside light source coming through the skin, into the body, doing different things. Like I have an infrared sauna. So I push the detox program and it's a very specific wavelength of light that comes in. I push the fat burning program. It's a different one. I push anti-aging. It's a different one. So red bed is fantastic, but I would just put your patches on after. I got a skin rash from the patch. What does that mean? So probably, I would say, I'd have to look at your skin, obviously, but I would probably say that's a detox, a form of detox. Your skin is your largest organ. And a lot of times that's where toxins want to come out, right? Especially if they're having a hard time coming out of your bowels. So we expel toxins through our breath. So a question is, are you exercising? Are you doing any aerobic type exercising to where you're breathing heavy, to where you're sweating? How are your bowels? Are you having at least 1 to 2 bowel movements every single day? If you're not, then your skin's getting the brunt of it and probably experiencing some detox. So a great thing to do would be obviously move the patch to a different location on your body, but up your water intake. You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces of clean, pure water, a good source of water every single day. If you're drinking coffee or any type of alcohol or anything caffeinated, you're going to need to drink extra water to compensate. As we age, our cells become more dehydrated. It's part of aging. So you may need a little extra. A big, important key point to this is using some type of electrolytes, whether it's a pinch of pink Himalayan sea salt or an electrolyte powder or blend. I'm not talking Gatorade. Do not drink that crap. Not like a vitamin water or Propel. Don't drink anything with artificial sweeteners or sugars or colors or flavors or any of that stuff. Maybe just a little pinch of sea salt or something like that is going to help, but you've got to make sure that you're staying very hydrated. It's totally fine if your body's 97.5. It doesn't matter. The temperature of your body is not what matters, right? I'm just saying your body emits a low level infrared light or heat. Okay, so somebody said my younger brother is a recent survivor of multiple melanoma. Brain tumor cancer, is doing very well. Fantastic. Came up with Parkinson's and prostate cancer. What patches will work well for him? So I can't specifically speak to cancer because that obviously is a massive disease system and process that's going on in the body, as well as Parkinson's. I would say to support the body in all ways, you would use X39 and Eon. You would also look at glutathione because of the immune system being compromised. Glutathione is a master antioxidant, master detoxer, Master Immune Booster. I'm sure you're probably familiar with glutathione. It's typically in an IV push at the end or a suppository or supplement. Those increase your glutathione level by about 23%, and about a 7-minute half-life. Our patch, again, you wear it 12 hours, take it off, throw it away, but it actually sustains your glutathione level for a 24-hour period, and that glutathione level is elevated by 300-400%. So what does that mean inside of your body? Well, when you look at disease in the body, we look at free radicals, those cells that are damaged, that are not functioning correctly. We look at the bacteria, the fungus, the parasites, the things like that in our body that are wreaking havoc. And so, the heavy metals, toxins, things like that, mold, we want to detox that out of our system. And so that's why we look at glutathione when we look at any type of immune system issue when your immune system's compromised. Same thing with the so autoimmune, there are a ton of them out there. Unfortunately, that's common today. And yes, we have seen massive improvements. Jesse, grab the person that invited you. We have access to a Telegram channel that it's private, but it has over 3,000 recorded testimonials of people, real people coming on, sharing their personal experience with the patches, what was going on with them before, what patches they used, and how that's helped them and over what period of time. So you can talk to the person that invited you. You can talk to them about what specifically is going on with your issues, and they can look some things up for you and send you some recordings so you can watch them. Remember, our clinical studies are done with people, but they're not done with people with specific diseases or syndromes or disorders. We're looking at systems and organs in the body. So we look at the endocrine system, the vascular system, the nervous system, the digestive system, the immune system. We look at all the organs, the kidneys, the heart, the liver, the lungs, the pancreas, the endocrine system, looking at the adrenals, the pituitary, the hypothalamus, the thyroid, things like that. And so obviously the next one's thyroid, right? So yeah, definitely when we look at the thyroid, we look at the endocrine system. And so X39, Eon, and SP6 would be fantastic. So scarred lungs from COVID, you would want to look at reducing inflammation, repairing the body. So definitely the X39 and the Eon as well. Let's see, X39 Eon, and then add an Alavita later. Sweet, that's fantastic. Can I have a copy of the recorder to send to some friends? So I have a YouTube channel. It's Dr. Staci, Staci, and Dr. Staci. And you can go to my YouTube channel and you can pull all my recordings. After this one's uploaded, then I'll upload it to my YouTube channel. SP6 is a patch that balances your endocrine system. And so this one is for anything to do, like I said, pituitary, hypothalamus, adrenals, thyroid. It's great for your organs, your kidneys, your pancreas, your intestines. It's fantastic for digestive issues. So that's what this one is. And it does, being that it works on your organs, it does help with those different types of hot flashes and stuff like that as well too. Let's see, would you recommend someone who's age 50 and has diarrhea, runs to the bathroom after eating? They're eating the wrong kinds of food and their digestive system needs some repair. So I would ask them to log their food. If I was talking to them, I would say log your food, everything you eat for 14 days, every single thing, food or drink that goes in your mouth. Write it down on a piece of paper, keep a journal, a diary, and notice how you're feeling with the foods that you're eating, because the food is the foundation. David says this as well too. Nutrition is the foundation. And a lot of times we see that, well, disease, your 85% of your immune system is in your intestines. And so your intestines get out of balance. Everything gets out of whack from the food that we're putting in there. So making sure that you're putting the right kinds of food in, make sure you're not combining the foods incorrectly. You can go to Google and type in food combining chart. And it'll show you a fantastic chart that says, these are the types of foods you eat together. These are the ones that are, okay. These are the ones you never eat together. Most Americans eat the ones in the column that says never eat these together. Most Americans eat those together all day long, which is why they have a lot of digestive issues as well, because they're combining the wrong foods and your body just cannot break all these different kinds of foods down at the same time. How would you put a patch on a cat? Would you just use X39? So you would patch the X39 on yourself during the day, take your patch off. You can put it on a collar that's on the cat. You can take a little dollop of super glue and put it on the inside of the patch and stick that on the cat's hair, and then you can just clip it off the next morning. Most cats are probably going to try to pull something off of themselves if they can get to it. So you'd want to put it, maybe up here on the back of the neck or along the spine where they're not going to, or maybe they're not, maybe they're fine and they don't care. You can stick it right on their fur. That's going to depend on the cat, obviously. So what about spasticity from a stroke? Yeah, so definitely X39, Eon, and carnosine. Carnosine is a fantastic patch for the brain. It balances the left brain, right brain hemisphere. It improves cognition, communication. It helps eliminating those toxins in the brain. The carnosine is a big antioxidant. It is second to glutathione. Your body makes both of these, and as you age, both productions decline. So this is like the #1 most unheard of antioxidant, unfortunately. And it's one of the #1 anti-aging antioxidants. Actually, even I have a book, Anti-Aging Medicines, in quotes, right, in my functional med program that I took. And carnosine was the #1 thing for reversing the age. So it works amazing for the brain. X39 is also a patch that David invented last year that does work fantastic in the brain as well, too. We kind of call this heart-brain protocol. You have anything with your heart, anything with your brain, all 4 of these patches address all of those issues, heart and brain related, in 4 very different ways. And so they all can work together synergistically, and they all can work individually. We like to combine them to really help to get to those root causes quicker, right? Can pain pills or depressants cause diarrhea? Typically, pain pills cause constipation, but it may be the opposite. I know my father-in-law has been on pain pills for a long time from being hit by a car, and functions perfectly fine, but he has to have them because he has all these surgeries, infusions, and all this stuff. And it used to cause constipation, but here, as he's gotten older, it's caused diarrhea, and he's had to have parts of his colon taken out and things like that from damage. So they can do both. As far as depressants, I don't know. I mean, everybody's different, right? So they can, yes, but I wouldn't say, well, that's your cause, it's your pill. It's probably a compound effect of a lot of things going on. Again, I would definitely look at the food that's being consumed. Most people eat processed, packaged, frozen, canned foods that have zero, if any, nutritional value whatsoever. And so you're just not getting nutrients. Your body is literally living off of cardboard. And so it's looking at those foods. Are you eating whole foods, organic, fresh? I mean, a garden, right? A food tower, go, to farmers markets, things like that. We have Amish grocery store markets here, where you can get locally grown, fresh grown organic food, at a reasonable price. But the food combining chart, just Google food combining chart. You'll find all kinds of them. And they're all going to say the same things, because you can't have one person saying, oh, you should eat fruits with meat. And then another one saying, oh, no, you can't eat fruits with meat. Like you can only combine certain foods together if you're looking for digestion and what's going to function correctly in your digestive tract. Marina, you're going to need to get with a person that invited you, and they can help you get connected to the Telegram channel. Okay. What about someone who has been diagnosed with MTHFR? So that is where your body is just not methylating correctly. So definitely using, it's not like, I don't want to say people are diagnosed with that, because that's the majority of people. You just don't realize it. And so that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. But if you're looking at balancing your system, X39 Eon, glutathione would be fantastic for you as well too. And then you need to look at the types of foods and or supplements to see that what you're using and consuming is working correctly in your body for that that gene being off, which most people are, unfortunately. But if you know our X39, we do know that X39 immediately resets 1/3 of the genome back to its young, youthful, perfect state. So if you're resetting 4,000 plus genes. And we know that each gene expresses to 1 or 2 other genes. There is this compound effect over time. So what does that mean? The longer you use the X39, the more benefits you experience, the more things that you see are being reset in your body. Not going to say it's going to reset that, but is there a possibility? I don't know. How many patches do you wear at a time? You wear whatever patches you need. You can start with whatever you want. If you just want to start with X39, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to get to some of your issues, things on your list a little faster, then you would definitely want to add Eon at the same time. Can you wear 6, 8 patches at the same time? Yeah, of course you can. They're all working by signaling different peptides. So they're going through different pathways in your body, literally at the speed of light. So there's no contraindications. There's no side effects. It's like, oh, I can't use this one at the same time I'm using this one because it's going to do this. Your body is designed to work perfectly, right? That's the way it was created, to work perfectly with trillions of cells and systems and organs and pathways. I mean, it's literally mind-blowing when you look at anatomy and physiology. And so knowing that if you use 3 or 4 or 5 patches at the same time, it's not going to interact in any negative way whatsoever. It can only improve that condition or symptom, because it's looking at that issue from many different angles and saying, oh, let me increase your carnosine. Let's go into the brain and do this. Oh, let me go ahead and signal this peptide AHKCU. I'll go into the brain and do this. Oh, let me go ahead and signal this peptide GHKCU. I'll go into the brain and do this. Oh, let me go ahead and reduce that oxidative stress and inflammatory stress in the body. And I'll do it this way through this peptide in the brain. And so you can come at the body in different ways. It all works synergistically perfectly. Carnosine. So where to apply it? Every patch comes with its own instruction booklet. If you order the patch, you will get the instruction booklet, and it shows you the places you can apply it. All of our clinical studies have been done on specific places because you have to have a controlled situation, right? Where your participants are doing the same thing day after day after day. And so that can be measured, right? This is where they applied one of these spots, right? Pick a spot, stay with the spot. If you want to change it maybe every 7 days, you can. If you don't ever want to, you don't have to. But the pack is going to show you which are your options to apply them. Now, when it comes to X39, like I said, any spot will do. Same thing with Eon. Any spot will do. Honestly, carnosine, glutathione, these are in what we call the Y-age series. And so really any of these, stick them wherever you want. The main thing is you get them on your body. They're working systemically. Systemically means throughout the entire body. We are conditioned to believe that if my shoulder hurts, I have to stick this patch on the shoulder in order for it to work. That is not true in this technology. You can hold this patch in your hand just like this, and it's still going to work on your shoulder. Doesn't even have to be anywhere near the shoulder. You can stick it on the side of your face. You can stick it on top of your big toe. It's working systemically throughout the entire body. Your body's stem cells go to work wherever they want. Just because you put it on the shoulder doesn't mean it's going to go work on the shoulder right away. It doesn't work that way, right? This is not a pain patch that puts a chemical into this area right here. It's totally different. So if you go to startx39now.com, you can watch some videos and read some more information on there exactly on that. Now with the IceWave gets rid of the pain on the spot. You're going to actually apply that to the area that hurts. That's the way IceWave works. Pain is stuck energy. It opens up the energy channels, working with the polarity of your body. That's why we have 2 patches with the IceWave. Each patch comes with a month supply, with the exception of the energy enhancer and the IceWave. And the reason why is just because what I just said. Each of them have a white patch and a tan patch. So there are 30 patches in the IceWave and in the energy enhancer. But you have to use 2 patches at the same time in order for each of these to work. So it's only a 15-day supply. But everything else comes, we call this a sleeve. Everything else comes in a 30-day supply. So any testimonials? So Sherry, get with the person that invited you. They can look on the Telegram channel. Like I said, we have over 3,000. So I'm sure you can check the MTHFR and see if that's on there. would you say to someone who has not been able to take NAC and afraid to use glutathione patch? So, so this signals a peptide in your liver to make more of its own glutathione. So this is not an exogenous source of a nutrient, which is what NAC is, right? If you're putting something into the body, this is not doing that. This is working totally different. So I would absolutely use this patch to signal your liver to make more of its own glutathione. And it totally does not even work like a supplement at all. So no nutrient, no supplement, no chemical, no substance, no homeopathic tincture, nothing is entering the body. It's signaling the peptide at the speed of light to do what it did when it was younger, which was have an abundance of glutathione in the body. So I would definitely use it. Let's see, wound healing. Whew, oh my gosh. Well, stem cells, they have found, if you look at research on burn victims, for example, they literally take stem cells in their liquid form. Say you burned your arm right here, and they pour liquid stem cells over top of the skin and watch it heal like this. So what do stem cells do for wound healing? Well, we have countless testimonials of people that have broken bones, sprained bones, cuts, burns. I saw a burn on a little child today that put their arm on the side of a stove. Literally, that's like one of the main things that stem cells have been approved for, like when you're looking at stem cell type injections and things, are for wound healing, to speed up, especially like when you look into research of diabetics. Again, we're not putting stem cells in the body or on the body. We're signaling our body to make more of its own, which means our body goes to work to repair itself. So wound healing, definitely sped up. We have a million testimonials on that. Let's see, do I remember a past Zoom call about doing certain patches in alternating days regarding 39, 49 glutathione and Eon? I would never alternate X39 at all. Like, that's a patch you use every single day. Eon would be a patch you would use every day. X39 would be a patch you would use every day. Glutathione is a patch that you can use every other day or 3 times a week. And the reason why is because I mentioned earlier that it increases your glutathione level by 300 to 400% and sustains it. So the patented technology from this patch actually sustains your glutathione level, and it keeps it elevated for a 24-hour period. So you wear the patch 12 hours, take it off, throw it away, and your glutathione level stays up for a total of 24 hours. And so you could, because it's elevated, you could skip a day or two and reuse and use it again, you know, use a new one again a couple of days later. But I would not rotate X39 Eon or X49. Is there a test to prove your stem cells have increased? So if you go to our website, startx39now.com, you'll see the clinical studies that show the increase in the GHK-Cu, the resetting of the genes, the mobilizing of your own stem cells, activating your stem cells and increasing and mobilizing them. That gene is actually P63. And so you can see the different tests, different ways they tested their participants in their studies in that study that's on startx39now.com. Okay, so I love this question. Are there any fetal stem cells used in making these? All right, so this has nothing going into the body. This is not putting anything in your body. Not a fetal stem cell, not an adult stem cell, not a supplement, not a nutrient, not a chemical. Nothing is going into the body. This is called photobiomodulation, which means a wearable light technology. This is a biophotonic exchange of information. Your body's light that you emit communicating with the lattice structure that's embedded in this patch, reflecting back a very specific wavelength of light, specifically in that 400 to 1,000 nanometers, back into the body, signaling your body to increase and activate and elevate its own GHK-Cu level. In turn, like I just said, resetting a third of the genes, mobilizing your stem cells, young, youthful, healthy, pluripotent stem cells. Nothing's going in the body. No fetal stem cells, no umbilical cord stem cells, nothing like that. It's just, this is a wearable light technology. If you go to startx39 now.com. You can read the research, you can watch the videos, you can listen to David. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to hear, I've interviewed lots of doctors. I have David on there as well too. You can definitely go to LifeWave's YouTube channel and listen to David talk about this. But again, the studies are the studies, and the studies are showing you that this is photobiomodulation. There's nothing going in the body. What would I recommend for someone who feels helpless, depressed, sad most days, and possibly bipolar? So definitely the X39 and Eon. The reason why X39, because of when you're creating in your body those new, young, youthful stem cells, mobilizing them, the body goes to work to repair physically, mentally, and emotionally, as I mentioned earlier. So you're forming new neural networks. When you look at the brain, when you look at neurology, when you look at neuroscience, plasticity, the brain is pretty much hardwired after age 35, especially with men. Women are more apt to change, but your brain is not as placid. And so the X39 helps with that plasticity. It helps to improve the functionality of your brain, your nervous system, right? And so that's really important. But I also like the Eon because of reducing inflammation. A lot of times there's inflammatory issues going on in the brain from chemicals, cleaning supplies, shampoos, things that are toxic. You don't even realize, deodorant, right? Vaccinations, medications. Your body comes in contact with so many toxins, heavy metals and parasites, and not to mention bacteria and viruses. And God, we live in a world you're like, I just need to be in a bubble. Like I just need to be in a bubble, right? And so could you just pipe in clean, fresh wheatgrass all day long? I'll be fine. But your body comes in contact with this. So you want to reduce some of those inflammatory markers. But then I would also look at Nirvana. Nirvana is our patch that is promoted for anxiety, depression, stress, worry, fear, those deep mental imbalances, right? Emotional imbalances. And so this works with the neurotransmitters and neurohormones in your brain. We call this our bliss patch because it helps with that serious imbalance in the brain. And so this helps you to come back into center and balance and be blissed and happy and like this is not the end of the world. I can actually go out in public and I can be around people and it's not that big of a deal, right? A lot of times our brains take things, our minds, not our brains, but our minds take things and we go down a rabbit hole in the wrong direction. And so using these patches can help you go down the right rabbit hole of happiness and gratitude and love and joy and peace and abundance of all things great from God, right? And so sometimes we need support with that in a neurological way. And so Nirvana would definitely help. We have a supplement that comes with that, would be fantastic. That's the only supplement we have, but it is amazing. Aloe Vera support are supposed to get skin, looks young, or anything else for youthful look. So the X39 and Eon and Aloe Vera would be fantastic. Remember I said that age, the outside, the way you look on the outside is a direct correlation, a reflection of what's going on the inside. And so when you look young and youthful, glowing, have, good skin, color, tone, texture, all of those things, that's because the inside of your body is healthy. And when you look old or crepey or wrinkled or, bags or lines, and it's not necessarily something that has to be from your age. It's what's going on the inside of your body. And so when you reduce the inflammation, when you reduce the oxidative stress in the body, when you get the body back into balance to where the body is sleeping, the body can repair itself. The body is working to repair all the systems and all the organs. You see a more young, youthful looking body on the outside. So people are always like, my sister-in-law's asked me tonight, oh my God, what do you use on your face? Like, what are your day creams, your night creams? What is your regimen? What's your eye cream? And I'm like, you would be surprised. I use Aloe Vera Trio. I use the day cream and the night cream. I wash with the same face wash I've used my entire life. I use the same eye cream I've literally used for 20 years. And I put that on day and night, but that's it. I use these patches and I eat a low inflammatory diet. I don't consume the things that are full of processed and packaged toxins, chemicals, colors, flavors, substitutes, things that are not even food. I look at whole foods, fresh fresh foods, things that are healthy. I was raised in a garden. We had 2 gardens growing up. And so I've always, been around a lot of fresh vegetables specifically. We had strawberries one time a year, we'd have blueberries or blackberries on the bushes, along the woods and stuff, but mostly vegetables, and just staying very much, not that I haven't, eaten junk here or there, whatever, obviously, but just being very mindful of the food that I put in my body, because the food is the foundation. And I can't expect to run a car on oil that's been in this car for 40 years. I've got to keep that car with fresh oil, which means I'm changing it, which means I'm detoxing. I love to detox. I've been a detoxer literally since I was 18 years old, and I read about the first detox. I remember doing distilled water with cayenne pepper and lemon. Gloria, I know you've done that. 7 days, I drank that 1 gallon jug every single day for 7 days at age 18. Who does that? And I'm like, well, they say this is really good for your health. And I cleanse every quarter, right? Every single quarter, I do some type of cleanse. I'm getting ready to start another one at the end of this week, where I'm going to go do a big alkalized water, pH, juice cleanse, detox for 7 days. Why? Because I do that every quarter. It's important. So it's not like you can just stick on a patch and be like, okay, this is it. It's going to fix it. It's like saying, I'm going to take this supplement and then poof, I'm going to look 20 again. It's an inside job. And so we got to do all that work, right? Remember, this is a tool that I have found in the last year and a half to be the most amazing, because I don't have to worry about digesting or assimilating specific supplements or nutrients, right? I can eat the fresh foods, the whole foods that I do, and know that this is working to keep my body young and youthful, prevent those things from happening inside of my body. But X39 Eon, Alavita for sure, glutathione, get your oil changed in your body, in your car. Get some of that junk out, that sludge out. Like, you should be pooping 2 times a day. If you're not, we got a serious issue. Like, your car is going to die, right? It is getting backed up. And so that means all those toxins are just being reabsorbed throughout your entire body. Like, I could talk forever on that. We have 1 minute. So we don't have time. Gloria and I are like, we need to get back live again and do all our talks we were doing, right? We could talk on this forever. How do you find the brain scan study? Too much info. I can't easily find it. Start at X39now.com. All the studies are there. So Beth Ann, maybe check with the person that invited you and they can help you specifically look for it. But it is in there, I promise. I actually have it printed out. Actually, right here. Poor ink. My paper ran out of ink on the last page. But I'm actually getting ready to review this one again. Dr. Harmon and I are going to do in the beginning of 2023. We're actually going to be reviewing 5 clinical studies and going over them, and specifically with slides and stuff. So it's there, I promise, because I have it printed out. And let's see, real quick, last question. How do you know which patches are best to wear during the day, which ones to wear at night? X39, X49 is only a daytime patch. Energy enhancer, for obviously reasons, is only a daytime patch. SP6 is daytime patch. Everything else can be day or night, with the exception of Alavita and Silent Nights. Those 2 must be worn at night. And the instruction booklets tell you everything, I promise. All right, so, oh, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, get your oil changed every day. All right, you guys. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you guys, Laura, for putting all your comments in there. I really appreciate all of your help. So if you guys have any other questions, get back with the person that invited you. They are connected to someone in this, in our organization, in this company, that has been doing this for quite some time now, whether it be 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 months, 3 years. Right? And so they can help you get any questions answered that you need. Make sure you fill out your health tracker. You're tracking your progress, because when pains are gone, when things change, you tend to forget. And then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that pain is gone. Oh, I forgot. Now I am sleeping through the night. Oh, I forgot. I do now poop twice a day, every single day. So keep track of those things so you can mark your progress. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic end of this year, end of this month. I'll see you guys in 2023 next Tuesday to kick off the year strong. You might want to make sure you're there for sure, for really, really for sure. It might be some special things coming to kick off 2023. See you guys.